There used to be silence between things. Between the words we spoke. Between the pages we turned. Between the thoughts we thought. But in today's world, that silence has been filled with notifications, with endless scrolling, with opinions we didn't ask for, with content that demands our attention yet rarely feeds our soul. We are connected to everything, all the time, and in the process, we've become strangers to ourselves. In this age of digital saturation, where the mind is bombarded with more stimuli in a single day than our ancestors encountered in years, it's no longer a question of whether we are overstimulated. The only question is, how long can we endure it before we break? Our minds, once meant for deep focus, intuitive rest, and inner creativity, now resemble web browsers with 100 tabs open, none of which we truly read. We are always switched on, but rarely present. Always scrolling, but hardly arriving. Always consuming, but never digesting. We don't suffer from a lack of information. We suffer from a lack of stillness. The noise we've normalized. What does overstimulation feel like? It's the nervous energy that won't let you sit still. It's the anxious checking of your phone every 5 minutes for no reason. It's the fog in your head that refuses to clear even after a full night's sleep. It's being surrounded by noise externally and internally and not remembering what quiet ever felt like. We live in an age where distraction is the default, where silence is uncomfortable, and where boredom, that fertile soil for creativity, is treated like a disease to be cured by another swipe. We are so used to this background noise that when we're alone in a room with nothing playing, nothing flashing, no voice to fill the air, we panic. We reach for something. Anything. Because quiet, for many, feels like absence. But in truth, quiet is the doorway back to ourselves. The cost of constant access. Somewhere along the way, we began treating the human mind like a machine that could run endlessly, update constantly, multitask eternally without ever needing a reset. But the cost is showing. We feel it in the rise of burnout, insomnia, anxiety, decision fatigue. We feel it in the emotional numbness that comes from being overexposed to everything, all at once. We feel it in our relationships, fragmented, fast, surface level. We feel it in our self-worth, which has been outsourced to how well we perform, how many views we get, how fast we respond. What we're facing is not just information overload, it's sensory and spiritual depletion. We are not just tired. We are overwhelmed. A soft invitation. This book is not here to blame you. It's not here to tell you to throw away your phone or move to the mountains. It's here to offer you a gentle invitation. To pause. To breathe. To remember that there is a place inside you that has never been overstimulated, and that place is waiting. You don't need to know how to meditate. You don't need to believe in anything mystical. You don't even need to sit cross-legged with your eyes closed. You only need one thing, the willingness to come back to yourself. Because beneath the mental clutter, the emotional exhaustion, the digital noise, you are still there. Whole. Intact. Awake. Why meditation, and why now? Meditation isn't a luxury anymore. It's not a niche spiritual practice reserved for monks in robes or influencers with perfect morning routines. It's a survival skill in a world that is trying to pull your attention in every direction but inward. Meditation is not about becoming someone else. It's about returning to who you are without the noise. In this book, we will explore how meditation, mindfulness, and intentional silence can help us reset a mind that has been pushed to its limits. We'll walk through the psychological, emotional, and spiritual impact of overstimulation, and we'll learn gently, step by step, how to reclaim our inner stillness. This is not a quick fix. This is a homecoming. So if you're tired, overwhelmed, burned out, overstimulated, or just longing for something quieter, deeper, real, this book is for you. It won't ask you to change your life overnight. It won't guilt you for being human. It will simply sit beside you, like a steady friend in a noisy room, and whisper. You don't need to do more. You need to feel less. You don't need to go faster. You need to pause. Come. Let's begin again in stillness. The age of mental overload. We are living through a silent epidemic, not of viruses or war, but of overstimulation. And like all epidemics, it spreads subtly, invisibly, until it becomes the new normal. You wake up and check your phone. Before you've even spoken to another human, you've already consumed dozens of images, texts, updates. You scroll through news headlines you can't process, reply to messages you don't feel ready to answer, and jump between apps without even remembering why. You think this is just modern life, but this is what it means to live with an overstimulated mind. It's not that the human brain is broken. It's that it was never built for this pace, this volume, this level of demand. Our ancestors lived with gaps. Gaps between events. Gaps between decisions. Gaps where the nervous system could reset. Where silence wasn't a luxury, but a given. Today, we've filled in all the gaps with stimulation, content, opinions, noise. We're left with no space to breathe. 7 signs your mind is overstimulated. Overstimulation doesn't always scream. Sometimes, it whispers or hides beneath the surface. Here are 7 quiet signs that your mind is asking for relief. 1. Mental fog. You find it hard to concentrate. Even basic decisions feel tiring. Your thoughts are scattered, like radio signals switching every second. 2. Hyperreactivity. You overreact to small things: a delayed reply, a rude comment online, a slow-loading screen. Your nervous system feels on edge. 3. Chronic exhaustion. No matter how much you sleep, you feel tired. Because mental fatigue can't be solved with rest alone, it needs silence. 4. Emotional numbness. You feel detached. Flat. Like your emotions are buried under too much input. It's not depression, it's depletion. 5. Constant checking. You check your phone without realizing. You switch tabs reflexively. You feel a phantom buzz even when no one's calling. 6. Sleep disturbances. You lie in bed, eyes closed, but your mind is spinning. You replay conversations, scroll mentally, worry about what comes next. 7. Loss of joy. Things that once made you feel alive now feel dull. The world feels noisy but empty, like a party you didn't want to attend. If you recognize even 2 or 3 of these signs, know this: you're not weak. You're human. And your mind is just asking for space. Your brain wasn't built for this. The human brain evolved for survival, to scan for danger, process signals, and respond efficiently. But in the modern world, that wiring is being hijacked. What used to be a survival tool has become a trap. Every ping, every scroll, Every headline pulls at our attention like a predator, and our brain responds the same way it would to danger. Dopamine is triggered constantly, but not deeply. You get hits, likes, comments, swipes, but they never satisfy. Cortisol stays elevated, keeping you on edge even when nothing is wrong. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for focus and reflection, gets drowned by the flood of stimulation. This leads to a fractured mind. A mind that is always awake, but never truly aware. The rise of digital distress. It's not just about too much screen time. It's about how screens reshape our entire relationship with reality. You don't read anymore, you skim. You don't listen, you react. You don't rest, you scroll. We suffer from what researchers call continuous partial attention, always alert, never present. Even when we try to relax, we fill our time with entertainment, messages, multitasking. But rest is not the absence of work, it is the presence of stillness. We've forgotten how to be still. The myth of always on. In many work cultures today, being always available is rewarded. The grind is glorified. Hustle is mistaken for purpose. Burnout is seen as proof of effort. But this way of living is unsustainable, not just physically, but spiritually. You are not a machine. You were not built to output 24/7. You need pauses, cycles, silence. Even the heart has a rest phase between each beat. Why should your mind be any different? What happens when we ignore the signs? An overstimulated mind doesn't just fade away. It builds. And if ignored, it becomes chronic, a baseline of stress that shapes how we think, feel, relate, and live. You lose the ability to enjoy simple things. You begin to dread empty moments because you don't know how to exist without input. You disconnect from your body, always in your head, always somewhere else. You start to feel like life is a blur, moving faster than you can feel it. You don't need more motivation. You don't need to push through. You need to stop and listen. Because your soul is not screaming, it's whispering. And it's saying, enough. Stillness is not laziness, it's repair. We've been taught that doing nothing is wasteful. That stillness is a luxury. That silence is weakness. But stillness is medicine. It is in stillness that the nervous system resets. Creativity returns. Emotions integrate. The body heals. The soul exhales. Stillness isn't about escaping the world. It's about returning to it fully present, fully alive. Conclusion: a mind worth healing. Your overstimulated mind isn't broken. It's just tired. Tired of noise. Tired of pressure. Tired of being pulled in every direction except inward. But healing is possible. And it doesn't start with doing more. It starts with doing less. With being, not achieving. With listening, not controlling. With allowing, not forcing. You don't need to fix everything. You just need to make space. And in that space, peace returns. Clarity returns. You return. When the world becomes too loud, when your mind becomes too heavy, when your body begins to protest quietly, you don't need more stimulation, you need sanctuary. For many, meditation is misunderstood. They imagine it as detachment, as something far away, as sitting cross-legged, in silence, for hours on end. But meditation is not a performance. It is not a religion. It is not a test you can fail. Meditation is the gentle act of coming home to yourself. It is the one place where you are not required to be anything, fix anything, achieve anything. It is the space where the mind can soften, where the breath becomes real again, and where life slows down enough to feel sacred. What meditation really is? Meditation is simply this: the intentional practice of observing your thoughts without getting caught in them. That's it. It can happen while sitting in stillness. It can happen while walking in nature. It can happen while drinking tea, breathing deeply, or even while washing the dishes, as long as you are fully present. The world pulls you outward. Meditation gently calls you inward. Why it's so needed in the modern world. In a world that constantly demands your attention, meditation is a radical act of rebellion. Why? Because it says, I choose presence over productivity. I choose inner calm over external chaos. I choose to respond, not react. I choose to be here, not everywhere. Our minds are conditioned to seek novelty, stimulation, and speed. Meditation retrains the mind to seek depth, awareness, and stillness. In just a few minutes of stillness each day, you begin to reverse the damage of chronic overstimulation. The stress hormones begin to lower. The breath becomes steady. The nervous system calms. The fog clears. The soul feels safe again. Common myths that keep people away. It's not unusual to feel hesitant about meditation. That's often because of misconceptions like: Myth 1, I can't meditate, my mind is too busy. Truth, everyone's mind is busy. That's why we meditate, not because we're already calm, but because we aren't. Myth 2, I have no time. Truth, even one intentional minute can change the direction of your entire day. Meditation isn't about length, it's about depth. Myth 3, I don't know how to do it right. Truth, there's no right. Meditation is not about silence. It's about noticing, breathing, returning. That's it. Myth 4, I'm not spiritual. Truth, meditation doesn't require belief. It only requires attention. You don't need to believe in anything. You just need to be with yourself, honestly. Let go of perfection. Let go of the idea that you need to become someone else. Meditation is not about becoming, it's about remembering. Scientific support the brain on meditation. Modern science is catching up with ancient wisdom. Studies have shown that even a few minutes a day of meditation can lead to reduced anxiety and depression, improved emotional regulation, increased focus and memory, lowered cortisol levels, stress hormone, thicker gray matter in areas linked to learning and self-awareness, better sleep quality, greater sense of compassion and empathy. In short, meditation rewires your brain not to become passive, but to become more resilient. It doesn't erase your problems. It changes your relationship with them. You stop being pulled around by every thought. You begin to notice the space between your thoughts, and that space is peace. The nervous system and the power of pause. Think of your nervous system like a sensitive musical instrument. In the chaos of daily life, it's constantly being strummed, pulled, overplayed. Meditation allows that instrument to be retuned through consistent stillness. The sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, gets a break. The parasympathetic system, rest and restore, takes over. Heart rate slows. Breath deepens. Muscles relax. The body feels safe. The mind follows. This isn't magic. It's biology. When you meditate, you aren't escaping the body, you're returning to its intelligence. You don't need to go anywhere. Some people think they need to visit a retreat, light incense, chant mantras, or leave the city behind to meditate. But the doorway to stillness is always with you. It travels with you into traffic, into meetings, into sleepless nights. Stillness is not a location. It is a decision to stop running, even just for a moment. You can meditate in a noisy room. You can meditate while walking. You can meditate right now by noticing your breath, your feet on the ground, and the fact that you are alive. What changes when you begin meditating? When you begin meditating truly, sincerely, your life won't suddenly become easier. But you'll begin to notice a subtle shift. You'll react less. Breathe more deeply. Hear your intuition louder. Find yourself less drained by others. Create space before you speak. Notice the beauty in small things again. Feel like you've returned to your center. You won't become a different person. You'll become more yourself, the version of you that isn't constantly overstimulated or overwhelmed. Conclusion: the way home. Meditation is not about becoming peaceful. It is about being with what is, and discovering that peace is already here under the layers of thought, expectation, and noise. In a world that has taught you to chase more input, more speed, more noise, meditation teaches you the art of less. Less distraction. Less performing. Less effort. Just being. And in that simple being, your overstimulated mind begins to heal. Meditation 1. The 1-minute reset for busy or anxious minds. When to use. Anytime you feel rushed, scattered, overwhelmed, or disconnected. Perfect for a quick break during your day. Begin. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it out slowly through your mouth. Again in and out. Now, for just 1 minute, let the world continue without you. Let go of trying to fix. Let go of needing to think. Right now, there is nothing you need to do. Nowhere you need to be. No one you need to become. Feel the air moving in and out of your body. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your shoulders soften. Notice, you are here. Alive. Breathing. Enough. This is all you need. One small pause. One sacred breath. And now carry on, slower than before. Meditation 2. 5-minute breathing for calm sleep. When to use. Before bed, or when your thoughts are racing and keeping you awake. Begin lying down or sitting upright. Gently close your eyes. Let your hands rest on your belly or in your lap. Breathe in slowly to the count of 4. Hold it for 4. Breathe out for 6. Pause. Again. In for 4. Hold 4. Out for 6. Pause. Feel your breath like a wave, rising, falling, slowing. Let your thoughts come and go like passing clouds. You don't need to follow them. Just breathe beneath them. As your body sinks into stillness, tell yourself, I am safe. I am enough. I can rest now. And with each breath, let yourself drift softly, naturally toward peace. Meditation 3. Digital detox. A pause from screens and social media. When to use. After doom scrolling, overuse of screens, or when you feel emotionally drained by the digital world. Begin by turning your phone face down. If possible, leave it in another room. Sit quietly in a space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes gently. Take a breath in through your nose and exhale fully. Feel the silence. No pings. No updates. No demands. Just you. Ask yourself, when was the last time I truly did nothing? Who am I when no one is watching, liking, messaging? Now breathe into that question. Notice how it feels to simply exist without input. Let this silence feed you. Let it be a protest against urgency. You don't need to capture this moment. You only need to live it. Stay for 5 minutes, or longer if you wish. Then return to your life quieter, clearer, less bound. Meditation 4. When you feel emotionally overwhelmed. When to use. During high emotional stress, after a panic episode, or when you feel mentally overstimulated and don't know what to do. Sit or lie down somewhere safe. Place one hand on your chest, one on your stomach. Feel your own warmth. Take a deep breath all the way down into your belly. Let it out with a sigh. Say silently or aloud, "This is too much and it's okay." You're not weak. You're not broken. You're just full. And you're allowed to feel full. Let the feelings move through you like weather. You don't need to understand them. Just breathe with them. Inhale. I allow. Exhale. I release. Again. Inhale. I allow. Exhale. I release. Stay as long as you need. And remember, emotion is energy in motion. Let it move. You are not it. You are the space it flows through. Meditation 5. Grounding in the present for sensory overload. When to use. When you're overstimulated by lights, sounds, conversations, or crowded environments. Find somewhere still. Sit with feet flat on the ground. Close your eyes, or keep a soft gaze. Begin with your senses. Notice 5 things you can hear. Let the sounds rise and fall without judging them. Notice 4 things you can feel. Your clothes. The air. The chair. Your breath. Notice 3 things you can see. Colors. Light. Shadow. Notice 2 things you can smell. Even if subtle, just be present. Notice 1 thing you can taste. It might be nothing. That's okay. Now return to your breath. You are here. Not in yesterday. Not in what if. Just now. Feel the weight of your body. The support beneath you. You are grounded. You are real. You are safe. Closing. Creating a personal practice. You don't need to meditate for an hour to feel better. You just need to begin sincerely, softly, without judgment. Start with 1 minute. Then 2. Then maybe 5. Let meditation meet you where you are. Let it be simple. Let it be honest. Let it be yours. This is not about control. This is about coming home. Building a life with less noise. The unseen weight of constant input. It's not just the number of things we consume that exhausts us. It's that we never stop consuming. Even when we're not doing anything, our minds are busy taking in images, headlines, short videos, comments, opinions, comparisons. We don't give ourselves a chance to digest. We are always inputting, rarely integrating. And just like the body bloats and breaks when overfed, the mind bloats and breaks when overstimulated. The first step toward peace is not always adding a new habit. Sometimes, it's subtraction. Less noise. More space. Redesigning your digital environment. Your digital world shapes your mental world whether you realize it or not. Here are a few simple shifts you can make to reduce constant stimulation. Turn off non-essential notifications. Let your mind reclaim silence. Not everything deserves your attention in real time. Use grayscale mode on your phone. Color is a stimulus. By muting it, you decrease the brain's craving for dopamine spikes. Set boundaries with social media. Try time blocking. Check apps only at designated times, not reflexively throughout the day. Remove apps from your home screen. Out of sight, out of mind. Make distractions less convenient. Keep your phone out of the bedroom. Reclaim your sleep space as sacred, not another portal for information. These are not acts of discipline. They are acts of self-respect. The ritual of doing nothing. We live in a culture that worships productivity. But the deepest healing often happens when we stop trying to improve, achieve, or optimize. What if you made intentional rest part of your life, not as an escape, but as a ritual? Try this. Sit on your balcony with no phone. Walk without headphones. Stare at the sky for 5 minutes. Let your mind wander, not toward problem solving, just drifting. Doing nothing is not laziness. It's a recalibration of the nervous system. In stillness, the noise begins to settle, and your real thoughts begin to rise. Boundaries are not barriers, they're bridges. We think setting boundaries makes us rigid or cold. But boundaries are not walls, they're filters. They protect what matters. Start small. Give yourself permission to be offline after 8 p.m. Say no to one thing a week that doesn't align. Don't respond instantly. Let urgency dissolve. The people who truly care about you will adjust. The people who don't will reveal themselves. Every no you say outwardly is a yes you say to your inner peace. Creating pockets of silence in your day. Stillness doesn't have to wait until a retreat. You can sprinkle it into daily life. Here's how. Morning silence, before the noise. Start your day with 510 minutes of silence before opening any screen. Feel your breath. Write one sentence. Stretch in slow motion. This small shift will change how your nervous system enters the day. Midday pause, between the doing. Schedule a 5-minute do-nothing break. Sit by a window. Watch light. No input. Just being. Evening wind down, before the dreaming. Dim the lights. Turn off all screens 3060 minutes before sleep. Light a candle. Take a warm shower. Listen to slow instrumental music. These are not rules. They are anchors. In a chaotic world, anchors keep you from drifting. The beauty of a boring life. There is a kind of beauty in simplicity in lives that are not sensational, but steady. We've been told to chase excitement, to be extraordinary, to accumulate experiences. But maybe drinking tea slowly is enough. Watching sunlight move across a wall is enough. Having a quiet evening alone is enough. A boring life on the outside can be a rich, textured, deeply fulfilling life on the inside. Simplicity isn't the absence of adventure. It's the presence of clarity. Finding rhythm over speed. The world glorifies speed. But healing like music, like nature happens in rhythm, not rush. Let your days have a tempo. Fast when needed. Slow by choice. Silent in sacred spaces. You don't have to match the world's pace. You are allowed to live slower, deeper, and quieter than others. Your peace is more important than your productivity. Becoming your own sanctuary. When the world outside becomes too loud, make your inner life a refuge. Let your routines reflect slowness. Let your speech reflect kindness. Let your home reflect peace. You don't have to escape to the mountains. You can be still in the middle of the city. Because stillness is not about where you are, it's about how you are. You are allowed to become your own sanctuary. You are allowed to protect your space. You are allowed to live a life with less noise even if the world never stops shouting. Choosing peace over stimulation. The cost of constant excitement. In a world wired for stimulation, peace often feels strange. It can feel empty, unproductive, even boring. Because we've trained ourselves to crave intensity, speed, novelty. But what we call excitement is often just agitation in disguise. And what we call peace is often the one thing we never learned to sit with. If your nervous system only feels alive when it's being triggered. If your worth only feels real when it's being validated. If your identity only feels strong when it's performing. Then stillness will feel like death. Until you realize it's actually rebirth. The deepest joy is often the quietest. Joy doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes, it slips in silently. A warm cup of tea after a long day. Laughter with someone who truly sees you. A song that stirs something ancient in your chest. The moment your breath finally deepens again. We miss these moments when we're chasing something bigger. But bigger isn't always better. Louder isn't always richer. Some of the most profound joys are easy to overlook when you're overstimulated. Peace trains the heart to notice again. Reclaiming the lost art of being. You are not here to always be on. Not every moment needs to be captured, shared, optimized, or explained. What if you allowed yourself to exist without commentary, enjoy without proving, pause without guilt? The human soul was never meant to run on notifications. You were built for wonder, for presence, for being. And being cannot exist in a mind that's always elsewhere. The most radical thing you can do in this noisy world is simply be with yourself, without needing to escape. It's not that you're broken, it's that you're overloaded. Many people think something is wrong with them. Why can't I focus anymore? Why do I feel numb? Why can't I enjoy anything? Why do I feel so exhausted all the time? But it's not always trauma or pathology. Sometimes, it's just too much. For too long. Without pause. Your system was not designed to handle 1,000 images a day, 100 opinions before breakfast, 5 screens fighting for your attention at once. Endless comparison. Instant availability. It's not you. It's the noise. And healing doesn't start with doing more, it starts with doing less. Stillness is a form of power. In a world where everyone is reacting, stillness allows you to choose your response. In a world addicted to drama, stillness keeps you grounded. In a world built on consumption, stillness reminds you that you are already full. You don't need to chase peace. You are peace buried under stimulation. Let stillness rise. Let it shape your words, your relationships, your way of being. There is no louder message in this world than someone who has made peace with silence. Choosing to stay. Sometimes the noise is so loud, the pressure so deep, the exhaustion so chronic that we want to disappear. Run away. Log off from life entirely. But there is another way. You can stay, but on your own terms. You can stay present without being overexposed. You can stay soft without being overwhelmed. You can stay human without becoming a machine. Every time you meditate, you are choosing to stay gently, intentionally, awake. Not numbed. Not reactive. Not absent. Still here. Still breathing. Still you. Becoming the quiet in the noise. The world may not quiet down, but you can. You can become the quiet center. The calm in the chaos. The breath in the burnout. The slow in the speed. The soul in the scroll. Let your stillness ripple. Let your softness interrupt the cycle. And maybe, just maybe, your peace will remind others what they've forgotten too. Because peace is contagious when it's lived. A final whisper. You don't need more advice. You don't need another app, another strategy, another fix. You need this. A moment. Of presence. Of breath. Of truth. You've spent enough time outside of yourself. Now come home. Conclusion: the journey back. Meditation for the overstimulated mind is not a luxury. It is a necessary return to your essence. This is not a book about escaping. It is a book about remembering that there is stillness beneath the noise, that you are enough without performance, that your soul longs for quiet not because it is weak, but because it is wise. That peace is not found at the end of a productivity sprint, it is found when you stop running. The journey back to yourself is not always easy, but it is always worth it. And it begins not with effort, but with a breath. Right here, right now. You are already enough. You are already home. Daily integration practices. Stillness is not something you do. It's something you return to. These practices are gentle, flexible, and designed for real life. No pressure, no perfection. Morning, the first 10 minutes. Wake without your phone. Keep it off or in another room for at least 10 minutes. Place a hand on your heart. Ask, what do I need today? 3 slow breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Feel your body arrive. 1 simple intention. Something kind. Today, I will protect my peace. Midday, the sacred pause. A 3-minute break without input. No phone, no music, no screens. Look out a window. Watch the sky. A tree. A shadow. Let the moment be enough. Stretch your spine. Breathe into tightness. Come back to your body. Evening, the digital sunset. Turn off screens at least 30 minutes before bed. Dim the lights. Allow your nervous system to soften with your surroundings. Sit with silence. No need to meditate formally, just sit. Let the day settle. Ask gently, where was I kind to myself today? What can I let go of tonight? Reflective journal prompts. Writing is meditation in motion. It reveals what stillness uncovers. You don't have to answer all of these. Just begin where your heart feels drawn. When do I feel most overstimulated? What triggers it? What does peace mean to me really? Where in my life am I performing instead of being? What am I afraid will happen if I slow down? Who am I beneath the noise, the roles, the effort? What moments of stillness have stayed with me? Why? What would a slow, beautiful day look like for me? What am I ready to stop carrying? Extended meditation, the safe space within, 10 minutes. This meditation is for those days when you feel ungrounded, overwhelmed, or lost. It guides you back home gently. Begin by finding a quiet place. Sit or lie down comfortably. Let your hands rest where they feel safe. Close your eyes if you're ready. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale slowly. Now imagine you are entering a quiet room within yourself. A room that has always been there, untouched by noise, untouched by judgment. Only stillness. You walk slowly through this space. The walls are soft. The light is warm. Everything here welcomes you. You see a chair by the window, familiar, waiting. You sit. Feel the peace of having nowhere to go, nothing to fix. Say silently to yourself, "This is my space. No one can take it from me. I belong to this stillness." Let your breath deepen. Inhale calm. Exhale tension. If thoughts arise, smile at them. Let them float past, like leaves on a stream. You don't need to catch them. You are the stillness beneath the current. Breathe here for as long as you need. When you're ready to return, do so slowly, carrying this stillness with you. Nighttime affirmations: a quiet goodbye to the day. Before sleep, let go of the mind's noise. Choose one or two of these affirmations and repeat them softly, like a lullaby to your nervous system. I did enough today. I am enough. I release all that I cannot control. I let go of comparison. I return to myself. My body is allowed to rest. My heart is allowed to soften. Stillness is safe. Stillness is healing. I am no longer performing. I am home. Repeat them while breathing slowly. Let each word land like a blanket around your thoughts. Designing your own rhythm, not a schedule, but a flow. Instead of overloading yourself with rigid routines, consider creating a rhythm that allows for flow and stillness. You can sketch something like this. This rhythm is not about perfection, it's a container for peace. It bends with life. It meets you where you are. Let it hold you gently. Final blessing. May your life no longer be measured by how much you do, but by how deeply you are able to feel, to breathe, to return. May you be the quiet in the noise. May you live slowly enough to hear your own soul again. May you remember peace is not a destination. It is you, without the world's volume.